Hello, John.
Hey Greg,
How are you?
doing fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. You ready for some intro music?
Heck yeah.
Let's do it. Good to see you, brother.
You too, my friend.
How's everything going?
Everything's awesome. That was an exciting NBA All-Star game tonight.
Who played?
The All-Stars.
Oh, no.
Team LeBron and Team Durant.
Okay.
Yes. And then we had Steph Curry for Team LeBron, basically deserving the MVP. Don't know if that was the result though, because we got up to prep for this, and then LeBron hitting the game winner, which has not always been his style. That's more of a Jordan Kobe thing, but
Right.
he did it. Called for the ball, made the shot. That's one of the best NBA All-Star games probably in a long time.
Are you ready for this podcast?
Let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
It's a big one.
You got it.
Yeah,
You are in
20.
charge. Let's do a little. You want to give them a little rundown of what we covering?
Sure. Let me go and turn off our music.
Sounds good.
All right, here we are.
Or at least our goals to cover.
Our goals to cover.
Yes, I have a tendency to ramble on,
That's okay.
use
That's
up our
okay.
time.
Good
Well-
to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Always, my friend. And I do think we've decided we're going to try to maybe make these either two-parters or a little shorter for people that
We're gonna figure out something.
so figure out something. We love the content.
It's still a work in progress,
Absolutely.
but it's good to see you again.
You too. I want to make an announcement. We have a website.
We have a
We have a
website.
website.
What's the name of the website?
Big News with John and Greg.
.com.
Correct.
Big news with johnandgreg.com.
Now, we've also added a link to it in the About Us on the YouTube page.
What does the link say? I haven't read it.
It says big link for Big News with
Oh, it
John and
doesn't say
Greg.
about us. Like.
No. In the About Us section of the YouTube.
Okay.
Of our
It-
YouTube
it doesn't
site.
say like
So if they're
John's-
watching this,
John's okay. It doesn't say like John's a successful shoe salesman.
no,
And
no.
Greg's a bum taco salesman.
No. That it would be the page which describes our goals of what we're going to accomplish on this
Okay.
YouTube podcast.
So we have a website,
Correct.
and
We also have Facebook and Twitter,
we have Facebook and Twitter.
and I'm working on getting those set up appropriately. The Twitter handle is kind of odd because I set it up with the whole long name, and Twitter decided that it was going to be at Big News with John 1.
Okay,
Left you off. Twitter left you off.
that's okay. That's okay.
But I think it's funny that it put John 1.
Well, because you're like Obi-Wan. You're like Obi-Wan.
It's like,
You're
why
smarter
did
than
you do
me.
that, Twitter? That is not correct.
That's fine.
I'm just better at rambling.
It's okay. You're the smart one here. I've got some good news.
What's that?
We got our first bit of fan mail.
Nice.
We did.
We did. Nice.
We got our
Tell me
first-
about it.
Well, you want to know who it's from?
Sure.
Nobody.
That's always a good start.
I made it up.
All right. I like
Because we
it.
have no fans.
Well, we have comments. We have a few comments on
We
the
have
site.
comments?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have no fans.
Well, they were excited when we got, intro music.
Right.
That we're fair and balanced, unlike the network that uses that claim.
That is not fair and balanced.
It's
That
not
is-
fair and
that is very
balanced. We
one-sided.
are, though.
We are. So this is our first bit of fan mail.
Okay.
Here's
Tell
what
us
it
about it.
says. What are those things hanging on your wall?
Interesting. Oh, good question.
Right.
What are those, Greg?
So
Let's
this
tell us about it.
this is
What's
the
going
fake.
on?
This is the fake subscriber.
Fan mail.
This is our
question.
fake fan mail
All right, I like it.
because we don't have any fans, so I just had to make it up.
Well, we do have. If you go to our website, you can actually comment directly to us. There's a section in the About Us where you can comment to us, and you can subscribe.
Yes, does the comment go to like an email, or does it go like public, or where does it go?
It goes to actually our standard email thing. So we would get it and we would.
So we'll get it in like the Gmail thing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so that's supposed to work.
So,
we haven't had a comment yet. So.
Right, because we don't have any
Fans yet.
What are those things hanging on your wall? Well, this is my degree from UNCG that my dad paid for. Thank you, Dad. It says I have a Bachelor of Arts, which I don't remember what that is. This here...
That means you learned a lot of stuff that you might use every once in a while.
I don't use.
That you probably don't use.
Right?
Right. You learned some skills, though, of interaction. Did you learn some Spanish or something?
I learned some Spanish.
He's pretty good at Spanish.
I learned how I learned some Spanish. I was a Spanish major.
Well, there you go. And you use it in your taco business.
I use it in the taco business. So
you do use it. Good for you.
Yeah, I use it to talk.
Very good.
Anyway, so that's my Bachelor of Arts degree.
Okay.
Right.
I like it.
And you have a degree from Guilford College.
Correct.
Right.
Bachelor of Science in Business, minor in Accounting, and something they called a computer concentration. Didn't get me very far because the computers were so old back then. They don't use them anymore.
DOS.
Yeah, DOS and like small mainframe stuff.
It's
COBOL,
cool.
SimScript, Fortran.
Cool.
What are that stuff? Basic.
So this here is a picture a friend gave me of an article from Our State magazine about the taco truck.
Nice.
Okay.
Locally published, statewide
Right.
magazine. Excellent. Excellent
These
magazine.
here are pictures taken when I was about 33, 34 years old from Madrid. That's my friend Mario, and these are some pictures of the Plaza del Sol in Madrid, Spain. So this is what I have.
Super cool. And then you have a retro radio back there too?
Yes,
can they
I don't
see
know
that?
if you can see it in the
might
frame.
be able to see that, but it's really cool.
Radio.
German made.
Yes, German radio. I have a my handheld radio for emergencies.
Right, which came in our last podcast that you didn't have it on your last flight.
That stays here. And of course I have...
might come in handy if the
Right.
electrical goes out on your plane again.
Right, and then I have over here, of course, my American flag from my father, who's resting in peace in Arlington, Virginia, which is
Nice.
super cool.
Yes, that is nice.
Yeah, so then those are the things. That's our fan mail.
Very good.
That's our fan mail. So I guess now we are at episode 6.
Yes,
Episode 6, right?
That's correct.
So very briefly, let's talk about, just very briefly, because we can go on forever,
Yep.
Russia.
So, yeah. So
Putin moved in his tanks closer to Ukraine today.
Yep.
Okay? Which, don't want to get into it, but he's trying to negotiate, but he's putting the gun closer to the head.
Right. I do think, though, based on something that I just received right before we went on the air here, through Macron, that apparently President Biden and Vladimir Putin have agreed to have a meeting of some sort to do a negotiation of some sort. No details yet, but it's a teaser. Maybe he feels like, I got enough force, overwhelming force here. Maybe I can get something without killing a lot of people. Hopefully.
It's just hard to...
The annexation move or something.
It just seems like it's difficult to negotiate with a guy who's got 200,000 troops on the border. He's got people in Moldova,
Yeah.
and as well as
Overwhelming force. Again, you're a dictator. You're going to get reelected because the elections aren't fair.
He's moving forward.
He can do whatever he wants.
He's moving forward. So anyway, the news is amazing. So
Yeah.
he's moving closer. There's negotiations. Once again, good luck, Ukraine.
Yes.
Right?
Good luck, Ukraine.
Ukraine. So
We'll be thinking the best thoughts we can.
yes. And you had a good week?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Always,
It's
it's
Sunday, right?
beginning of the new week.
It's Sunday,
Yeah.
right?
It's a day off for me. A rare day off.
You relaxed?
Just did stuff. Got to do stuff.
Took it easy.
I took it easy for the morning. I read the papers for all week. newspapers. I actually still get a print newspaper.
Do you really?
Yep.
Which one?
News and Record.
Do you really?
Greensboro News and Record.
The Sunday one.
No, I get the whole week.
You do?
To support them. I frequently don't catch up with all of them when I'm working on a Sunday. I probably don't get to read through them. But
do they still have the coupons in the middle on Sundays?
Yes, they do.
What Circuit City got?
I did not look at the coupons. I recycled them.
Okay, so
because I don't shop for
you
that
don't look
stuff.
at the Circuit City cutout.
I don't look at any of the ads. I'm not an ad guy.
Circuit City doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't. Well, it does online, I think.
Does it?
I heard that it did. I haven't looked, but at one point somebody bought the rights to it and
Gotcha.
did an online thing. But who knows? That's probably gone now too.
Circuit City and Radio Shack.
And Radio Shack is another one that sort of, I think, still exists online, maybe. But they're legacies.
Those are my two favorite stores, man.
Yeah, and they're gone as far as stores.
The good stuff's going away.
Not really. Just
Circuit City was good, man.
Yeah, but there's a different way to get good stuff, though.
Yes.
Not saying Circuit. So actually, when Circuit City was around, I worked for a privately owned, family-owned audio video company.
High-end stuff.
Higher end. It wasn't real high end, but it was higher end, and it was eventually became now audio video, but it was called what was it called back when I worked there first time? The Shackmans, Ann and her husband owned it. Anyways, it'll come to me at some point.
That's fine.
But that's where I worked. And
so,
my buddy Keith Liveright worked down there at Circuit City, which was mass market, but it's still better than what you got now.
Right.
Best
Actually,
Buy.
that stuff over there
Best
came
Buy.
from City.
Yeah, I was going to say, compared to Best Buy, much better place.
Yes. So anyway, our first topic. Are you ready for our first topic?
Ready for the first topic.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh, hold on. I have to do the volume again.
No Glockenspiel there? Wonderful.
Our first topic is non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Now, this is something that's
fungibility.
Weird. This is
weird stuff. I gotta be honest with you. It's weird.
So then I watched the video, and non-fungible token... non-fungible token to me means nothing. But fungible means not returnable.
Well, fungible means you can trade with it. So a non-fungible
means returnable. So
yes.
It's a non-returnable token.
Basically, but fungible means that you can transact with it. So if it's non-fungible, it always maintains a stated value.
Okay.
By who owns it.
Okay.
Basically.
So then this video that I watched.
That's my understanding. I don't know.
That's fine. So this video I watched.
In the future, we'll have a little bit. We'll put fungible up on the screen.
Yes, we'll have graphics.
We'll read the definition or something.
So these non-fungible tokens, which are non-returnable, are getting out of control. And I just want to read you before we talk about this. I just want to read you some numbers on this, okay? Okay. Because this is true stuff, okay?
I don't know that they're not returnable. Their value is set by the owner. Defines a value, and that is the value.
Okay.
Whereas something that is fungible can change in the marketplace, I believe. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. So check it out. So then,
look it up.
Since November of 2017, 174 million dollars have been spent on NFTs. Okay. Since 2017. Insane. All right. Let me keep going. Okay.
These are not real things.
Check this out. Famous digital artist Mike Winkelmann, better known as Beeple, crafted a composite of 5,000 daily drawings to create perhaps the most famous NFT of the moment, called Every Days. the first 5,000 days, which sold at Christie's for a record-breaking $69.3 million.
So basically, he sold his little digital daily photo diary or drawing diary. That's insane.
Here's another number.
Maybe it was great artwork. I don't know.
The original tweet that co-founder Jack Dorsey tweeted got sold. You know how for how much? 2.9 million.
Yeah.
Somebody bought a tweet. Let me give you some more numbers. Okay.
Here's the weird thing about it. There is some historical value to that, but I don't understand why you can own that.
Let me give you some more numbers.
It's essentially a picture of it. The thing exists. You can go see it. You can even get your own copy of it. You just can't own it. That's the weird thing.
Watch this.
An NFT, you own something that people can have without owning it.
Let me give you the numbers.
Where's the value?
Let me give you the numbers, and then we're going to expand on this.
Okay.
So you can see how serious this thing is. Okay.
It's out of control.
I agree with you, but the numbers tell a different story. Okay.
People are suckers.
Brands like Charmin and Taco Bell have auctioned off themed NFT art to raise funds for charity. Okay. Taco Bell sold out in minutes, with the highest bid coming in at 1.5 Wrapper Ether, which is equal to $3,723.
Yeah, I think Ethereum is one of the bigger trading things with
Nyan Cat.
NFTs. I don't know.
Nyan Cat, which is a cat with a pink sponge. From 2011. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In February, it sold for $600,000.
Who buys these? Do we know? Well, that's the thing. We don't really know because
we're gonna go into
blockchain.
It's from the blockchain. So.
If someone tells you that they bought it, that's fine. But there's not like public reporting on that, is there?
We're gonna get into this.
Okay.
We're gonna get into this.
Do we have time for all that?
I hope so.
That's deep. We might have to do a whole episode just on this.
Watch this. NBA Top Shot generated more than $500 million in sales as of late March. A single LeBron James highlight NFT fetched more than $200,000. This is real money. People are spending real money on these NFTs.
And the idea, I guess, they think that it's going to go up in value. But again, the strange thing is that same LeBron highlight thing is available as a non-NFT. That's the weird thing. You can't. There are certain things that you can get the same image. You don't own it, but you can look at it. It can be in your library, and you don't pay a thing for it. So where's the inherent value and the rareness, like the rareness of it?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that.
Confuses me.
Now,
I will say one place where I think there is some inherent value in NFTs is when you have an actual artist, digital or not, and that artist, which are usually undervalued when they're alive traditionally, that artist can define something an NFT. If they can do that and it's true art, I'm kind of for that, but I think it's so out of control.
As of December 31st of last year, trading volume of NFTs has hit a staggering $22 billion.
Can't that mean money be spent somewhere more productive? Just saying.
People are spending money on this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last. Was it my last? No.
There's something about the whole idea that this is similar to the 18th century Dutch tulip deal, which I think is potentially right on. Do you have that quote? Or somewhere in there?
I would have to find it.
Anyways, it doesn't go into deep detail on it, but that was one where there became an obsession of buying these Dutch tulips, and it was like the .com bust. It was insane. So many people lost so much money because they ran the value up of these things and crashed. I don't think that's exactly what can happen with this. I think there's some value in certain sectors of it that will carry on, but it will filter itself out from this idea that this LeBron highlight that you're going to pay $200,000 for, because you can't take it down as a photo if it's somewhere.
So then watch this.
If it's on Twitter, you can download it.
So then watch this. This is such a big. This is such a big thing right now. Not only is Charmin and Taco Bell getting involved, right?
Right.
Nike bought they acquired a company called RTFKT, which I don't know how you.
Artifact is how they pronounce it.
Oh, it's called Artifact.
Artifact. That's how they pronounce it.
So they acquired this company.
They're overly Artifact. Clever. The person writing the article you sent me didn't even know that until they read it.
Oh.
They did a research for the article.
Artifact. Yes, it does say Artifact.
Yeah.
So what Nike did? So what Nike did? They used this company to make NFT Nike shoes that you could sell to put on your avatar online. Okay.
Since they are a shoe company, as long as it's unique and rare, maybe there's some inherent value in that.
Watch this. They made, in under 7 minutes, they made $3.1 million. I could go on and on.
Here on the other side of that, though, is one of the reasons Kobe Bryant, before he unfortunately passed away in that tragic helicopter accident, he and his wife were working on leaving Nike to do their own shoes, because Nike took advantage of collectors. They would come out with a new design, a Kobe shoe, and they'd release 250 of them. And they release them at this one time where all the people, the insiders, knew, and they'd all buy them up and they'd resell them for crazy amounts of money because of rarity. That's sort of what's going on with that. That's different than a photograph that somebody takes off of online and they make into an NFT. So in other words, here's the weird thing about NFTs. The original photographer isn't the one, that should be the one that can make an NFT out of it. I took a photo, I can make an NFT out of it. No. Somebody can just claim it and make an NFT out of something that somebody else took the photo of. That's insane.
Non-fungible token.
Yeah.
This is the strangest thing I've seen. It's
bizarre.
I think they're in first place with Russia. That's crazy. They're in first. They are tied with Russia for first place of crazy. Crazy shit you can do on planet Earth.
And there's so many people making so much money for doing literally nothing these days, and it's like trading crazy shit like this, taking advantage of people. It's almost like some weird version of all these, business pyramids all over the place, and there are all these digital business pyramids. Like you get in on something early. And you make money, and then it's gone.
But when you have
the guys that came up with Artifact, they're loaded now because Nike paid a ton of money for it.
They're loaded. But you have companies like Charmin, Nike, Taco Bell, NBA, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. They're legitimizing this.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, these are
on some level. Yeah.
They're legitimizing.
Which I don't think it will go away completely. It'll just filter itself out at some point in time and maybe make some more sense. Like there'll be somehow they'll become somewhat regulated. Again, the idea an NFT should only be able to be made an NFT by the creator of that original content, which is sort of where Nike's coming from. But that's not where most of them come from right now. Like Jack Dorsey can make an NFT out of his original tweet. But somebody else should not be able to.
Right, but somebody else
That's
did.
my problem. So it's like someone else's. The problem with NFTs right now, the way that they're created, though, is someone just gets something. There's a platform, right? But you have to register it.
Right.
But you don't have to be the creator of the content. You should have. If it's ever really going to be a real thing,
you're right.
That's the key thing. The only person or company that should be able to make an NFT would be the original creator of that content. That's not how it is right now. That's my problem with it. If you want to make it where, because again, like I was speaking with you before we started, because you know me, I'm an Elon Musk fan. I follow SpaceX a lot and Tesla, and there's all these people out there that are making these wonderful graphics and animations about what the Starship and the booster and all that, what it's going to do, what it's going to look like. They break them down into these old, and they're spending a lot of personal time on that. They'll put their little logo there, or whatever. I guess they figure they're going to get business out of it because people will see how good they are at what they're doing. And then it's also used by YouTube channels. Like there's this one you've seen, the German fella, he calls it, What About It? They call it the Y Network or whatever. Mm-hmm. He uses a lot of this stuff, and he always references the artists, let's call them, mm-hmm. right? The website says you should look them up. You should go Patreon, support them on Patreon. So he promotes them, and that's another way that someone like that can make money is through something like Patreon, which is a really good concept. It's a great concept. It's totally legit. You like somebody that's online somewhere, you can go to Patreon, you can support them.
I actually support somebody on Patreon.
I support about 6 or 7 different people, and they're all people, yeah, no companies, but yeah. And the funny thing is, I'll tell you one of them I support, and I have to pay the most, and I use it the least, but I'm just such a fan, is Steve Vai.
Steve Vai, yes.
He gets $5 a month from me.
He's the guitarist.
Yes. And the funny thing, if I was an actual musician guitarist, there's all kinds of benefits.
Doesn't he teach?
That's the thing.
He teaches online, right?
Yes, I can learn from him for my $5 a month. But yeah, I'm not that good and don't have time, because I don't even have time to do as many podcasts as we probably should do.
Well, we're going to be famous one day.
One day.
We're going to be famous, man.
I think so.
I mean, I have a fake question here from a fake fan.
I know, that's a good start.
Fake it till you make it.
Paul McGowan, PS Audio, he reads real questions, and they're not really that good even. Yours was
mine was good. I mean, mine's
good fake question.
I could have lied.
I love that show though. That's a Paul's Post, PS Audio. If you want to learn something about audio, how it all works, go check it out. PS Audio.
PS Audio, is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah, they have a YouTube channel. They make stereo equipment. I am a little upset about the fact that their new $30,000 speaker is made in China. But the funny thing is, all of their other stuff is a built-in Boulder with mostly U.S. parts. So the speaker being made in China was a little shocking.
Well,
but they're a great company. Paul's a great guy. He wrote this really entertaining book called 99% True. It's a great book. I have it.
Well, maybe we can make an NFT out of a picture of a Chinese speaker from Paul.
There we go. Really, Paul? You made it in China? Come on.
Right. So these
NFTs. We'll make money for, and then we'll. Yeah. Right. Anyways.
So NFTs.
Well covered.
It's bizarre.
BSC.
Batshit crazy. It's weird.
It's weird.
I think Putin may have one.
Yeah, probably.
Putin may have one.
Yeah. Probably.
My God. So
please, people, if any of these people that do watch this, do comment on this stuff. We really want your comments. You think we carry on too long? You think that it's funny? You like it? If you have an opinion about fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens,
if you can explain to us what they are,
why are you interested? Why do you like them? If you like them, do you agree with us? Really, we would love some commentary.
Yes.
So there you go.
We would love some commentary.
Yes. Good
and bad, right?
100%.
Good and bad.
Thumb us down. If you think something we're covering is pointless or stupid or whatever, we're open to opinions.
But we're doing it, right?
Yes.
We're actually doing it.
We have lots of opinions ourselves, but we're also open to other opinions.
Yes. And this is a real podcast.
It's real.
We're actually really doing it.
We're doing it. There's going to be at least 12 people that watch this.
That's right.
Something like that.
Maybe Oprah will come on.
That would be cool.
Or Anderson Cooper.
We need to have some guests. We need to have some guests.
We need Anderson Cooper, Oprah.
Those are the big ones. I still think we might be able to get someone like, I don't know, Bill Sherrill probably wouldn't want to come on.
Call Elon. Call your friend Elon.
Elon's really busy.
He'll come.
He'll come eventually.
He'll come.
He did some weird podcast called the B something. It's like it's these kind of conservative guys, but they're kind of funny. They do comedy, and it's like B. They have the logo's a B, but it's like the B something. Again, in the future, we'll have a link down below. You can go to the website
when we can figure it all out.
Well, we're technically challenged. All right, so next subject. I'm rambling again.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah?
The movie
I like when he hosts Saturday Night Live.
Yes. He did a good job with Trump, right?
Yeah, that was funny.
He blew him out of the water.
Yeah. But even, I mean, everybody but Trump actually thought it was pretty funny. But then Trump doesn't think anything's funny.
And yeah.
He doesn't have a sense of humor.
His feelings are very easily hurt.
Yeah.
And if you're a politician, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like right now. I mean, all the comedians who are making fun of Trump, they're making fun of Biden. That's what comedians do.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's what they do.
They call him sleepy, right?
Yeah.
Boring, sleepy.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah. There's always
old, senile, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
They're always finding something. They take a little nugget of something and turn it into a big thing. That's comedy.
But you know what though?
What's that?
They really didn't make fun of Barack Obama.
Not
If
a lot.
you think about it,
Not a lot.
There weren't many. There were plenty of jokes about George Bush #2.
He's a tough guy to make fun of for actual stuff done. But I know a lot of people don't like him. I still don't understand it.
Obama, you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I still don't understand why they don't. But they don't. It is what it is.
I think it has. I think it has to do something with skin pigmentation.
Probably a little bit of that, maybe.
I think it's true.
I think there's some.
Unfortunately, it's true.
I think so.
Because honestly, if you look at what he did,
yeah, he's fantastic.
You know, he fixed the financial crisis.
Yeah. I mean,
and Tim Geithner was his guy.
Mm-hmm.
They fixed the financial crisis. They unfortunately got rid of Pontiac and Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I kind of always liked the Pontiac. I always thought Pontiac could have been the BMW for GM.
I think Pontiac was a cool car, man. Yeah. A Fiero GT.
Yeah.
Like an 87 Fiero GT with the spoilers on the side and the wing on the back.
They had that little mid-engine sport car in the early 2000s. They had the Saturn version and they had a Pontiac version. Those were cool.
Oh yes.
What was it called? I can't remember what they were called.
What was that?
They were cool little cars.
What was that car called? Solstice or something like that?
Solstice was the Pontiac maybe, or Pontiac Solstice. And then the Saturn
Those
version.
were cool cars.
They were
cool cars.
They were technically not quite as good as they could have been, but they were certainly a great design.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Alec Baldwin.
So Alec, yes.
Alec Baldwin. News. Bad things are going on. He accidentally shot and killed a camera woman. And I'm going to mispronounce her name and I apologize because I don't want to offend her or her family.
Right.
Her name is Halyna Hutchins. Halyna. I don't know how to pronounce it. Halyna Hutchins. Young girl. She got shot. Went through her and hit Joel Souza, the director.
Right. On
this movie called Rust. I think it was back in November of 2021.
Right. Sad
deal.
Yeah.
I feel bad for family. I feel bad for everybody involved.
Right.
I feel bad for Alec Baldwin. Right?
Right. He's doing his job.
And he was reassured the gun was cold.
Correct.
And this is in and out of the news. But I think this is just as important as any other news because it's it
affects so many
a
people.
lot of people, especially the mom and dad of the deceased.
Right. It's because there's an accident. I think you end up with a little less coverage than when you have a victim of a pursuer or something, like you have all this stuff going on with the Aubrey stuff, the ones that killed the young man. I mean, they're terrible people. As more it comes out about them, and I get why it's covered, but this is a tragedy as well.
This is a tragedy.
It's an accident.
A lot of finger pointing.
Yeah, a lot of finger. Everybody else is not guilty of anything, and they're pointing at all everybody else.
The lawyers are involved.
Trying to cover their own.
Lawyers are involved.
And then people are trying to get money out of it too, which is sad.
The armorer, Hannah Gutierrez. You like my role there? Gutierrez?
Very nice. That's where that degree came in handy.
That's right. Yeah. Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the armorer and key props assistant on Rust, filed a lawsuit in New Mexico State Court on Wednesday, saying the production bought live ammunition that she believed to be dummy rounds. Can you believe that?
If she's been doing this a while, I think that'd be hard to believe. I mean, I'm not an expert in this at all, but I mean, I remember,
And she's not the only one that's suing. I mean, people.
No, they're all over the place. But I mean, this whole idea that you don't know that it's a live round versus a dummy round. I mean, that was Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's son.
Right. He died in a similar scenario where a gun supposed to be loaded with dummy rounds was not, and he was shot making a film. And I don't even remember what the final findings in that were. There were all these conspiracies that it was some Chinese thing that hated the Lee family or some weird stuff.
It's just a bad thing that happened. It's just a tragedy.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. It's an accident. And that's what this is. There's some culpability somewhere where someone made a mistake, and unfortunately someone died from it. But this is until more comes out, you can't even argue. You can't even really say it's negligence, but there is something about the cartridge that you're putting in the gun.
I just don't know what it looks like, but I do understand that it's stamped differently. There's aesthetically there's something different about a dummy cartridge or I'm bullet as opposed to a real one.
And my understanding is it doesn't even have an actual what looks like a bullet. But I'm not an expert at all. Again, this is something in the future.
I thought you were an expert on. I thought you knew everything, John. That's why you're my partner, man. You let me down.
But my understanding, most blanks.
Invent something.
Most so-called blanks are literally the cartridge part of it with the gunpowder
minus the lead,
and then it's sealed so that it can actually combust when the back of it is hit by what do you call it, whatever the
cartridge.
Yeah, but there's the
I know what you're talking about.
It's impacted in the back by a little piece. I can't know what you call that. When you pull the trigger.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyways, so it has to be sealed enough so that it can have a noise, create a noise and can combust or whatever.
Well,
but there's no way I think you could ever mistaken a dummy round for a real round.
I don't know. I've never seen a dummy round, but I understand that now.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Well, you talk about it. I'm going to look it up.
Look it up. So then I'm going to tell you about an article I read about a month ago. Okay. George Clooney chimed in on this one. And of course, he came down kind of hard on Alec Baldwin, which I thought he shouldn't have.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of unfair to come down on him, right? Because they're colleagues and whatnot. So anyway, the article essentially said that with CGI, you can use a fake gun that looks real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do the motion, and they can make everything with CGI look like a real gun. The fire coming out, the explosion, the whole 9 yards. So with technology, you can take a not real gun and make it look real.
And you know, that can be done, but like even in this rehash of the series from the 80s, 90s, whatever, that just came out with the where you're, oh gosh, where you take the red pill or the blue pill.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, thank you. So the Matrix, to make it more realistic, they actually used more real film.
Oh.
As opposed to less special effects, even though you can do it.
The Wachowski brothers.
Yes, I think it was actually their daughter or something. So Wachowski was the director.
Okay.
It was a female. It's like Laura Wachowski.
Well, now they're transgendered.
Is that what it is?
It's true. No,
is that what it is?
In the beginning, they were Wachowski brothers.
Okay.
And now they both transitioned to women.
Okay, I did not know that.
So that's true.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So I have some information about this.
Tell me.
So a dummy round is actually completely inert. It doesn't do anything, but it looks somewhat like a real bullet.
Okay.
A blank. It actually has a little bullet. So it's like if you were going to look like you wanted to load something, you would have some sort of thing that made it look.
Round lead on that round.
Right.
Piece on
it would look kind of like a bullet.
Okay.
But it has no propellant. What I'm referring to is a blank.
It's a blank.
Which is what I actually was calling, and that's what it was supposedly in the gun that shot Brandon Lee, where they were supposed to be blanks, because you want the sound when you're pulling the trigger.
Gotcha.
Right.
And you want the recoil.
And you want the recoil, some recoil. You're going to get some recoil, correct. So yes. So a dummy round or a drill round is a round that's completely inert, i.e. contains no primer or propellant or explosive charge. It's used to check weapon function and for crew training. So you would not be using that in a movie. Dummy ammunition is distinct from practice ammunition, which may contain smaller than normal amounts of propellant or explosive. For example, M69 practice hand grenades emit a loud pop and white puff of smoke. A dummy is also not to be confused with a blank, a cartridge for a firearm that contains propellant and a primer but no bullet or shot. The dummy does not produce an explosive sound. The blank does. So usually in a movie you're using a blank. And that's always the term that I had ever heard. Somehow this term dummy has shown up in this thing.
But no dummies were used.
No dummies should be used. They make no sound. Exactly. You don't use it in a movie. You use it to test the loading of a weapon. Does it load properly? Things like this. How does it sit in there? So it's not even really the right term that's being tossed around here. Sounds a little suspicious on that side of the person handling the equipment.
Right. Well,
but we're just some guys on YouTube. What do we know?
We're just two guys.
We don't know nothing.
The show sucks so bad. I'm here in my mom's attic with my friend John, and it's
it's late.
It's like 12:30 at night time. You can see it's dark outside. So
it's not your mom's attic.
This is worse than Conan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wasn't Conan on before?
We're getting.
Okay.
We're running over time like always, but it's fun.
That's okay.
It's fun.
So anyway, it's a bad deal with Alec Baldwin.
For sure.
Thing. I feel bad for the armorer who got
Yeah.
shot and killed.
The actor, yeah, it's
Right.
a shame.
I feel bad for everybody on the set.
Yeah, the movie may not even come out because of
I
all
don't think it will.
controversy.
I don't think it will.
And that's
Who the
even,
hell wants to see the movie?
Yeah, it's even more tragic
I
in
don't
a
even want
way.
to see the movie.
But in a way, that's even more tragic. Someone died, and the film didn't. Like the Bruce Lee situation, the film did come out a few years later after things settled, and they made a point to not have that scene in it.
Gotcha.
So,
well, it's a sad thing. So let's move on to our next topic. Are you ready?
All right, ready to go. Let's do it.
It's a happy topic. It's a topic that you have some experience with.
All right.
It's one of my dreams.
Okay.
It's not necessarily news, but it's out there. Are you ready?
Ready. Yeah, let's go.
Sailing to the Bahamas.
Yes, I've done it on motorized boats, but never a sailboat.
How was it? It's a dream of mine.
It was really pretty awesome. My father had he had a couple of nice boats. His ex-wife, after my mom, got remarried a long time later, Ruth. She was really into the boating thing, and she got her captain's license. And Dad invested in a nice Sea Ray boat, and we would go across to the Bahamas. It was really fun. And we did a couple trips where we did the whole thing. A couple times we flew down there, and actually Ruth was actually staying there on the boat. But sailing is a very different thing. I mean, when I was really young, my uncle, who passed away a long time ago of cancer, unfortunately, couldn't stop smoking even after he had cancer. But he leased a motor sailor, and we went, actually were on that for like a month almost. Saw the whole Bahamas. It's an amazing trip.
It's a dream of mine to have like a 40-foot sailboat. I've actually looked into it. You can get a 40-foot Beneteau.
Just get a motorized boat.
I like sailing. I can't afford the fuel. Wind's free.
Takes
man.
You got a lot of time though. It takes a lot longer to get places.
That, but it's part of the fantasy. Let me have my fantasy.
Okay.
Let me have my fantasy.
You go with your fantasy.
So you can get a 40-foot, and I've looked online.
It's a good sized boat. Yeah.
A 40-foot Beneteau, which
you can live on it.
Which is a nice boat, right?
Very nice.
2-3 staterooms for $100,000. Like a 2000 model, roughly. For $100,000.
Do you know what your maintenance is every year?
More than I can afford.
Correct.
But it's my fantasy.
Okay, sorry.
I want to have my fantasy.
Correct.
Let me have my fantasy.
That's why you can get such a good deal on it.
Right, exactly. So
seawater and machinery don't go well together.
No, it's called corrosion, right?
Yes, correct.
Corrosion. So, that being said,
but it's fun.
I've done some research.
It is fun.
I've done some research on sailing to the Bahamas.
Okay.
The best time to sail to the Bahamas is generally between December and April, right after hurricane season.
Sounds great. We never did that. We were always doing the summer thing because I was either in school or something.
The temperatures are slightly cooler, drier, and the Bahamas is less humid.
Makes a ton of sense. It costs a lot less too. From like if you're going to stay in places, there's a whole season, summer season, where all the costs go up, tourists and such.
Really? So the best starting point, Florida. People 100%. Typically leave from Fort Lauderdale or Miami, right?
Yep.
And they typically go to Cat Cay or Bimini in the Bahamas.
Yeah, Bimini's was a short one-day trip in a motorized boat, probably a long one-day trip in a nice sailor.
Well, from Fort Lauderdale to Bimini is only 50 nautical miles.
Right.
So it's a shorty.
Right. So if you're averaging 13, 14 knots, that's 7-8 hours.
Yeah, it's 50 miles.
Yeah.
You just do it in a day.
You can do it in a day.
You can do it in a day, right?
Yep.
Now, sailing to the Abacos, 190 nautical miles.
You gotta make a couple stops on the way. which is nice. The Bahamas are nice.
Right.
The people are nice.
Is that a couple day trip?
It's a couple day trip.
Right.
When you if you're doing it, do it in a couple of days so you can enjoy it. So here's the thing about it, the Abacos.
You can't be on a rush and
right.
and
So
a sailboat.
Here's the thing about the Abacos though. So anywhere that you're going to want to stay in the Abacos, all the harbors where you would want to stay are on the eastern side. So you've got to.
They're protected.
No, they're actually not. The Manowar Island I mentioned is protected, right? So the harbor there, so it's a small island on the outside of Marsh Harbor that is protected, which is why that was the first settlement in the Abacos, because it is protected. The harbor is protected from the winds, from storms and hurricanes. But all the real population is mostly on the east side. Now, so the northern part of Great Abaco, you've got
Man of War.
Grand Turtle, correct.
Man of War is in
right. Green Turtle Key is a nice place.
So much stuff.
How do you know so that's why I can't remember names of stuff. You know how I have these blanks on names.
How you know so much shit?
What was the name I couldn't remember a few minutes ago? I don't know what it was. Remember I couldn't remember.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah. See, so my brain's filled up with all this
other crap. One of the best movies ever.
Correct. Which is why I can't remember stuff like that. My brain's filled up with this other stuff. But Green Turtle Key is a place you could stop like on one day, but you got to navigate up around probably the north side of Grand Abaco. I think that's probably the way I'd go. But anyways, so that's why it's a 3 to 4 day trip. Because once you get into the Bahamas, you have to navigate around the islands. When you're crossing the Gulf Stream, it's a straight shot. So I would do Bimini over Cat Key because you could spend a day or two in Bimini, which is a nice little town.
They probably have beautiful restaurants on the water.
They have a few.
Right.
They have a few. Especially now, they have some much more development.
They have resorts there.
They do now. When we were going, they didn't. Last time we went, they just finished a major part of the development on one that was like 2007 or 8.
Because you could sail there in a nice boat, right?
Mm-hmm. You spend a week or two there.
In my fantasy boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then just spend a few nights at a resort just to take a good shower.
Sure.
Sleep in a nice bed, right?
Sure.
So on and so forth. Just enjoy some amenities, right?
Absolutely. It worked great.
I think my fantasy is pretty good.
It is a good fantasy.
Are you liking it better?
I'd still get some sort of motorized boat.
Well, you have more money than I do.
No, I don't. My dad does. But that's why I don't have a fantasy. I've done it.
Call your dad. What's his number?
Dad just got himself his third Tesla, so he spent his money for the year.
Oh well.
Yeah, got it into January. He loves it. It's got that weird little yoke steering wheel thing.
Northern Exuma. How do I pronounce it?
Exumas.
Northern Exumas is 220 nautical miles from Fort Lauderdale.
Absolutely gorgeous islands.
Via.
Yeah, that'd be Nassau, like New Providence.
Via Bimini. Your first stop would be
Bimini. You might
and
want
to... And then to Chub Cay.
Right, that would be the normal way.
Right.
Chub Cay is known for great deep sea fishing.
Right.
Chub Cay is a great place for deep sea fishing.
I mean, this would be a cool thing to do.
It would be.
Right? I mean, you just need time and patience.
It would be very cool.
Because a sailboat moves slowly.
Correct.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, a lot of people you do go by Nassau and Grand Bahama. I mean, New Providence Island, which is where all the population of the Bahamas mostly live in Nassau. But why bother with that, right? Because the Exumas are incredible. It's like hundreds of little islands. If you've ever watched the classic James Bond movies, especially the Sean Connery ones. Almost all the ones that take place in like tropical waters are almost all made in the Exumas. There's some made in New Providence, but there's a movie called Thunderball, and there's a cave, and you can actually dive. You go to Staniel Key down in the Exumas, and you can actually dive. And go into this cave. It's super cool. And there's an island about a mile or two away from there that has just a family of wild pigs that live on it.
Oh yes, the swimming pigs. I've seen
Yes.
that. I've seen that in
Very
pictures.
cool. There's no
Seen
humans
pictures.
that live on this island. It's actually a society of pigs. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
That's why I want to sail.
There's culture. There's culture. Those pigs have a culture.
That's my fantasy, to have the sailboat and go to the Bahamas.
I think you're better
It's
off.
feasible.
Yeah, but just take your Cessna and fly down there. You have more fun.
Right, exactly. Less risky, right?
Yeah, just
They
fly
won't
down
rot
there.
away, right?
That's
Lower
right.
maintenance.
Yes, just fly down there.
Okay.
But if you want to fly down there, I'll go join you for
Okay,
some stuff.
okay,
But I'm not
okay.
going to do the sailboat.
That's slow, isn't it? That's slow, isn't it?
Yeah, half your time's on the boat.
Are you ready for our next
Ready?
one?
Let's go.
This is happier.
All right. We're already moving happier.
We're all moving happier.
We're moving happier.
Jonathan the Tortoise named the world's oldest. Excuse me. Jonathan the Tortoise named the world's oldest living land animal. 190 years old, still is eating and mating.
How cool is that? What's his stimulant?
Is there Viagra somewhere?
I don't know, like tortoise Viagra,
Can you
some
imagine?
kind of fruit or
Could you
something he
imagine
eats.
still mating at
Yeah.
190?
Yeah, pretty impressive. But there's I heard that a tortoise has lived as long as 255 years. So
Could you imagine living that long?
he's probably equivalent of like me, like 58 or something.
So what year was it 190 years ago?
It's like 1860 something, or no, what is it? It's older than that. 18.
Well, what year are we in now? 2022.
Right.
1822.
1822. Yeah.
1832.
Yeah.
It'd be 18. He was born in 1832.
Yeah.
That's like before the car.
Yeah. Before the Civil War. Before. Really.
It was before a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
1832 is when he was born.
Yep.
Could you imagine
It's amazing.
if you could talk to him?
What he's seen on that little island, because he hadn't seen everything. He's gone through the World Wars, all these.
He's gone through a lot.
Yeah. Wasn't he a gift to the governor of that island from somebody and he's lived through 39 presidencies or something. It's insane.
Probably so. Well, it says here, he was around for 2 world wars, the invention of trains and automobiles, and the end of slavery. He lived through the rise and fall of both fascism and communism, and he predates the light bulb, the photograph, the telephone, and the Eiffel Tower.
It's amazing. Especially the Eiffel Tower.
I mean,
That's
it's
There's no Statue of Liberty mentioned in there.
yeah, no Statue of Liberty. When was that? Was that?
The French gave it to us
French gave it to
the
us,
late
right?
1800s or something. Remember they had a little quote about give us your hungry, your poor, your whatever, starving masses or something. See, I can't remember words and quotes.
That's okay, but
Anyways,
he's still getting busy,
he's getting busy.
right?
And he loves humans, doesn't he?
He loves humans. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
It's amazing. That is so cool.
Oh, you're right. It says here he's spanned over 39 U.S. presidents.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, this guy's been
That
around.
is so cool.
This guy, I mean, and he's had 160 babies. Or
Wow.
she. No,
No, I think
or
it's
raising,
Yeah.
or have had,
He's partaken
yes,
in developing 100
developing
and something
160.
babies. Yeah.
So that's
So I wonder these big tortoises that live so long versus the turtles that make all those eggs and they have to get to the sea, like the terrapins. They make so many eggs, but most of them don't survive. Do tortoises, which always live on land, do
I
they
don't
just
know the
not make
difference
as
between
much?
the
Do they
two.
not make as many eggs, or
I don't know.
are their babies are born live? Or are they born with eggs, or what? We go ahead and look that up. Look it up yourselves. We're
Look
running
it
over
up.
time. We're
Look
running
it
over
up.
time. We're at what are we at here? We're at close to an hour here,
Okay.
but we're still doing better than last. Yes, we're doing better than last time.
We're having fun,
We're
right?
having fun. Heck yeah.
We're having fun.
That is the main thing.
Right?
Because we have we have what, 10 subscribers?
And they all know it.
Maybe like 11 or 12 by now. I don't know, you know. Maybe some people will share some knowledge
But
with
people
some
don't
people.
do this anymore. It's always texting now.
Yeah, it's just talking.
It's always right. It's always this
Yeah.
texting stuff.
That's right.
I mean, this is like real
Communication. Conversation.
right? Friends hanging out,
That's right.
right?
And you might learn something.
You might learn something,
Maybe. Probably not, but you might.
right? And sorry, you'll never get back this time. This hour,
Hopefully you weren't too busy.
right? Yeah. Hopefully you're multitasking and doing something else, filing your nails while you were listening to this or watching it. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so what's our last topic here?
Our last topic before our pop question.
I hope I don't fail this one again.
Are you ready?
Yes.
A hero just passing by saves young mom and son from dying in Wyoming house fire. Now this guy here,
I think you should just basically read it. This is amazing.
this is amazing. Okay, so there's a 34-year-old mother and her 4 young children, 12, 8, 6, and 4, asleep in their Jamestown house in Wyoming when a fire erupted. All right. This guy, Ryan Pasborg, 32-year-old kid, driving through, sees it. He's like, "What's up?"
Why does he even stop? I don't even know that I would have thought to stop. He just did.
He did.
He did.
He's
It's like you driving along the highway and you see something and you don't stop because you got something you're going to.
well. He saw something fishy, right?
Yeah.
He saw. I mean, he
You would hope you would do the same.
right. You would hope you do the same, right? But I mean, this is a hell of a guy. So
Yeah.
so this guy, when he didn't see, per the article, when he didn't see any emergency lights, and this happened this month.
Right.
When he didn't see any emergency lights, the 32-year-old decided to pull into the driveway where he saw a young girl and 2 boys leaving the house. 3 children told Pasborg that their mother and the 4-year-old little brother were still inside. And without hesitation, he entered the residence through a garage door and stepped into the kitchen. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
He crawled in there on his hands and knees, okay, before he bumped into the child. So he first found the child,
Right.
okay, grabbed the kid around the waist, little boy, picked him up, and carried him outside, right?
Yep.
Wind chill temperatures well below 0.
Right.
It's freezing,
You
right?
got the car or the truck running or something.
Right. Shoves him in the truck, right?
Yep.
Are you getting tired?
Lack of oxygen. That's why you yawn.
Are you out of beer?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
But thank you for checking.
That's okay. So then he goes back into this burning house and finds mom. Finds her on the floor, badly burned and struggling to breathe. After dragging her outside, he noticed that she was unresponsive and no longer breathing. So he began performing CPR until suddenly she took a gasp of air. This is my kind of guy.
That's amazing.
That's
a true hero.
This is a true hero, man. I mean, this guy, like, he's like, fuck it. I'm going in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other word for it.
Yep.
I'm going in, and I'm going to...
There are people that try this stuff and don't survive. That's how risky that was.
I mean,
he did.
He did.
Saved everybody and survived.
So our hat's off to Ryan Pasborg
Absolutely.
of... Where's this guy from? Wyoming?
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Jamestown, Wyoming or something.
Jamestown, Wyoming. Our hat's off to him. That's a real hero. Right? Real hero.
For sure.
All right, so he's our homeboy. So he gets free tacos for life at Taqueria Azteca.
There you go. Now you gotta come to Greensboro.
Free tacos.
So you just gotta come to Greensboro.
Come to
Get
Greensboro.
Tacos.
Bring your girlfriend or your wife.
Taco truck. Red Oak beer. We like our local stuff.
Maybe we can get him a pair of shoes
Little hummingbird.
at pair of shoes at the
Shoe market.
Shoe market, right?
Yeah. We'll
Right.
work it. We'll work what we can do.
All right. So, are you ready for the pop question?
As ever.
Only I know.
Always a little nervous here.
Well, this is
pop question.
This
Always a little nervous.
This is gonna be deep.
Last one was deep.
Last one
is really deep.
Threw you off.
I decided I would be Elon Musk.
I think you were a little bit nervous about the gay hairdresser. I think you were nervous about.
I don't understand why. Well, you know what it was? I just didn't understand why one would want to do that. But then again, I get your explanation.
Because nobody messes with a gay hairdresser.
Yeah, they don't. They don't mess with them.
Think about it, man.
No, they don't.
They're revered, man.
For sure.
You don't mess with a gay hairdresser.
Yeah, Elon Musk gets messed with, but he always has an answer.
He always has an answer. He takes hits. Who hits a gay hairdresser? Nobody. No, they're off limits.
Yeah.
They're off limits, man.
Yeah. Well, throw it at me. I'll see what I can do. I'm game to give it a shot.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's go.
What is the origin of the universe?
Rush. Oh no, that was like a couple
podcasts ago.
Oh yeah, right. Origin of the universe. Well, you know, there's that whole Big Bang Theory thing, but I don't really buy into that. It just seems too simplistic. Expansion and compression, like it's going to go back and forth.
Expansion would be the red shift.
Right.
And then you have blue shift when things are coming closer.
Yeah. And I mean, Carl Sagan, he's a definitely someone that I really respect and all of that stuff.
He's my all-time favorite.
Yeah, but I mean, he kind of sort of vaguely adopted the idea of the Big Bang, but not really. I think that we don't know enough to really know, but there's definitely a certain amount of matter. I would say that there's a high probability that there's a certain amount of like molecules in the entire universe. How they got to be where they are, the various galaxies. Now we can see motion in the history. So this is where the theory of Big Bang came from. You can see a motion that seems to
see
the red shift. Things are moving out from the side that we're on that we can see.
Right.
So this is where we come up with this theory. But we don't know there was a Big Bang necessarily. But there's something that's causing this all to
And we know the moon's going farther away because we put
the way that
a mirror on there and a laser reads it from the Earth every month.
Yeah,
and it is moving away. This is true.
Yeah, extremely slightly. It's like again. There's always motion, movement. You've got some of the planets rotate fairly circularly, and some of them are more of a ovular, elliptical kind of rotations. So, you know, you got. But I would assume that the moon is a set mass at this point. Earth is a set mass at this point. The sun is a set mass at this point. But the sun has so much energy that the theory is that eventually, from what we can see in thanks to like the
it's gonna burn out.
Yeah, likely before it burns out, it expands though. And so it would tend to, before it would actually burn out, it would tend to expand out and consume Mercury, Venus, and maybe not Earth, but it would burn us up.
It would get Earth.
So it probably would. That's one of the theories, that Mars is just barely far enough away that it could be a life raft for a couple million years or whatever.
Well, if there's no sun, how does Mars get heat?
But the sun would still be generating heat as it expands, and since it's closer, it actually would warm up Mars somewhat.
Oh, I see.
Even though it's not as hot itself, the surface area of it is closer before it either collapses back into a dwarf.
So then, what's your answer of
the origin of the?
What's your answer?
We have no fucking clue. It's all just a hypothesis.
Well, you want to ask me my...
So, Greg, it's your question. What would your opinion on this
Thank
be?
you for asking me. Thank you for asking me. Since I've already
Thought about it a lot.
I thought about it, right? Because I mean, while I'm producing this, I think of the pop question.
Yeah.
Because I want to stump you, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're a thinking man.
Right.
You're a thinking
Which is
man.
why I have no distinct answer on this, because I'm a thinking man.
You're a thinking man.
I'm not going to give you some lame BS.
That's right.
Solid
So my answer is going to be ripped off from our hero Carl Sagan. Okay. Carl Sagan says humans have this notion that things have beginnings and ends. He says, why not just save a step and say it was always there?
It's a good quote that I had forgotten.
Just skip a step and say it was always there.
But isn't that the point I was really getting at?
It was.
So
But
back
you
in my head, I
But
probably
you didn't
had
say it
I
that way.
didn't say
But
it.
you didn't
No,
say it
but
that way.
I can't remember names and quotes.
You were talking about all this other stuff about the sun and Mars and everything
I guess
else.
the point I was trying to make was that this is what most scientists say, and I don't believe it. I think you're right. I think Carl had it.
Carl had it right. Just save a step and say it was always there.
He had another great quote that just makes so much sense about like the idea that we're the only intelligent life, and it's basically, if we are the only intelligent life in the universe, it's an awful waste of space.
Yes, he did say that. He
Awful
did
waste
say
of
that.
space. Just logic.
There has to be something else out there.
Yeah.
It's just too big.
Yeah, whether we ever connect with them or not, I mean, the lifespan that we have and our ability to move, at a certain speed, just, and that's the other thing, the idea that UFOs are some sort of extraterrestrials are coming to visit us regularly and all that stuff doesn't make any sense either.
No.
I mean, Elon Musk, who's like the most impressive engineer in space history, if you look at what SpaceX is doing right now, landing rockets and reusing them over 100 times, he would say the same sort of thing. There's no evidence that any alien has ever visited us here.
Get him on our podcast, please.
Yeah.
Get him.
Love to.
You
I'll
can
work
do
on it. I'll
You
work
can
on
do
it.
it.
He's a busy guy. He's busier than I am.
Nobody's busier than you, man.
Yeah, he is. He's busier than me. And
John,
he tweets more than me.
John, are you ready for our outro?
Let's do it.
Are you ready for the music?
Yep.
Here we go. Outro music. Well,
Another great podcast.
another great podcast.
We had fun.
I had fun. I mean, this is
Hopefully a couple of people watched us and had fun.
the
It's a couple.
yes. I mean, this is great.
It is Sunday after all.
It's
Well, we
Sunday.
hadn't published it yet, but it'll be early Monday
Yeah.
morning,
It was fun. We're
It's
working
good.
on things.
We're moving
I'm glad
along.
you're my friend.
That's most important.
I truly am glad that you're my friend, and I'm glad that you take the time out of your busy schedule to do this.
It's fun. It's a great idea.
I know you're busy,
You've done a great job,
and I respect your private time.
and I do want to say that you had a really great lineup here, and there's a thing that we did not cover. Do you want to tease on that for later?
Oh, crossing the Atlantic Ocean. I always
Yeah.
have crazy ideas.
Like, because people do the Pacific too.
That's even
They do
crazier
stop
because
in.
it's cold.
They do stop in Hawaii usually.
Yes, yes. I had fun, John.
I did too. All right,
Thank
buddy.
you, man.
Awesome.
This is
Thank you
cool.
so much. This is great.
I had fun.
Someday, maybe a couple people will see these.
Yes, yes. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, good
Thanks
night.
for watching.
Or good
It
morning,
was
or
cool.
whenever you're watching
Or
it.
whatever time it is.
Wherever you are.
Okay. See you later.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.